Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you clicked on this video then obviously it's because you're subscribed to me and you just like watching my videos, or you might be curious on how to become a EMT, which is an emergency medical technician, or a firefighter. And for me, where I live, they go together, so I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. Or you can do just EMS, and I'll get more into that as we go along through the video. So I made a video on a day in my life as an EMT, and that was private ambo, and I've been getting a lot of questions on how do you do it. And so basically I'm going to start off with the first thing. The first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out if you want to do private, which is, yeah, I'm just going to say you just need to figure out if you want to do private or if you want to do public. So there is a difference between the two, but for EMS, if you're more worried about the medical side of things, then you can do both. But if you're more so worried about firefighting, then you have to go through your county or whatever department. I don't know if other states do like private fire. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. But if they do, then you can do that. But I know where I live, it's just county. So there is a process for the two. So first off, you want to decide where you would like to take your EMS classes. And if you decide that you want to do public, then fire and EMS will go together. So you will go through the training academy, which is what I have where we live. I think it's the same for every county. I'm pretty sure it's some type of training process. You have to do CPAT. You have to have a interview on a panel. You have to do CPAT, you have to do a physical examination and a psych examination, and then you have to go through with volunteer recruit school. So with public, it's much easier because you can just get your EMT at, let's say, a community college or through some type of program, or some jobs might even pay for you to get your EMT. So I would look into that. And then you can also get your EMT other ways instead of going right into public, because if you already have your EMT, your recruit school time will be cut in half. And for those, I think recruit school, I want to say it's about 6 months, and so 3 months I think are focused towards EMT, and then the other is towards Fire 1, Fire 2, vehicle extrication, hazmat, all that other stuff. And so if you already have your EMT, your volunteer recruit school time is cut in half. And so for those months that you're not working on EMT with the rest of your class, you'll be out in the field actually riding and getting that experience. So there are pros and cons with private and public, obviously, but the first step is deciding on where you would like to take your classes and when, honestly, because I think EMT, I want to say it lasts anywhere between 6 months and longer. You can probably do it shorter, but like for me, I did it in high school, so I graduated with my Fire 1, Fire 2, hazmat, vehicle extrication, EMT, and a bunch of other stuff, which I was lucky for. I didn't have to pay for anything. However, I know that some people that didn't pass, I know they took EMT at like community colleges before they went in and did the training academy. So there are options. I will look into it. And by the way, I believe that EMT classes cost anywhere between $1,500. It can be more or less, but I think that's on average. Like, especially if you're taking it at a community college, it'll probably be around $1,500 depending on the amount of credits, because it does go by hours. And so with getting your EMT, you also have to get your national registry. I think more and more states are making it required, or maybe it is required in all states, I don't know, but I know where I live, I want to say 2016 was when people were required to get their national registry EMT. So if you already have your EMT, you don't have your national registry, I don't think that you have to get it. So with that, I will be making a video on how to pass your national registry EMT, because I think that I have some tips that can be very helpful, and so just stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get back to what I was saying. So like I said, you have to decide whether you want to do public or private. And with private and public, I said that there's cons and pros to both. So we're just going to start off with public. So if you want to do public and you're interested in like, if you're interested in firefighting, or you're interested in hazmat, you're interested in being a public safety officer, EMS supervisor, if you're interested in any of that, I think that you have to be with a county. Like private, they're their own thing, they set their own rules and stuff like that, but it all kind of correlates with MIMS. For public, I have a list right here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But for the public fire department, if you choose to do that, I would say that they are definitely more disciplined than private. Definitely. I want to say it also depends on where you go, because I know where I live, private, don't even get me started. Like, honestly, I do it sometimes too, but like the uniforms, like we have to wear black socks for public. You have to wear your uniform, make sure your shirt is tucked in, make sure you're wearing your black boots, make sure you're in full uniform or you will get disciplined, okay? And so for private, it kind of slacks off. Like, no one's gonna tell you like, oh, make sure you're wearing your belt, make sure you're wearing your black socks. Like, you have a uniform, but in my opinion, they're more sloppy. And that's not to say everybody, because some people carry themselves in a, you know, at a higher standard and actually wear their uniform and actually come in prepared and stuff like that. But with private, I feel like it's a lot less disciplined. For the fire department, I want to say it is longer training, because if you do decide to do private, you're only taking your EMS classes. Like I said, anywhere between 6 months, longer, could be shorter, just depends on where you are and how long your classes are. But I know that there is a set number of hours that you have to have for EMT, because you also have to do practicals. That's why I say private is shorter if you just want to go ahead and get a jump start. But I don't recommend private if you are a new EMT just coming out. I really don't recommend it unless you are doing emergency, because most of the private ambulance companies just do transport. And that's kind of what I do, just transport patients. I mean, you take your vitals and stuff like that if you want to get, you know, if you want to get proficient in taking vitals. I mean, I guess that'll be fine. But as far as emergency and actually seeing real stuff, private ambo doesn't really provide that. Again, unless they do run emergency, which is 911. So like I said, with the fire department, you have to go through the training academy. I think this is for like every state or something like that, or I think it's for every state, or it is very well known. I don't know, but I know where I live. I live in Maryland, and so you have to go through the training academy no matter what county. Anne Arundel, PG, Montgomery, it's all the same thing. You have to go through the training academy. And so yeah, moving on to private. So with private, again, like I said, it is less disciplined. You don't run 911. People come and go, so it's not like you're like set with the set crew or set partner. You may see the same people, but it's not the same as the fire department where you're at a station and you're assigned a shift. Yeah, either 24 hours, 3 days on, or day work, which is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. With private though, I will say that there's always going to be a job, because there are a lot of private ambulance companies. Because salary wise, I know that private ambo is at least $12,000 less than what you would make in the county. And that is because where I live, the average public fire department salary is about $42,000, and that definitely can go up because you can do overtime, which is 8 hours on top of your 24-hour shifts or on top of your 8-hour shifts. And I know that there's just ample opportunity to promote and everything like that, and so your salary actually goes up every year. And so with private ambo, you're basically paid on like, I mean, yeah, they're both paid on hourly rate, but like, I don't think your pay is going up every year, and it's definitely not going up as much as it would in the regular fire department. And so something that they both have in common is they both have an EMS supervisor, and so that is basically the person that oversees all EMS anything. And again, they pretty much are the same level, because at the end of the day, you are an EMT. But the difference is that with private, you're just an EMT. You may have fire. You can volunteer if you decide to, which is an easier process. I'll get into that next. But or you can do public, which is EMT, firefighter, and whatever other certifications that you have under your belt. And so now, an easier way that some of you might like is volunteering, where they actually pay for you to get your EMT, they pay for you to get your fire, they pay for you to get all of the classes that you need to become a volunteer. But you're not paid for it, obviously. And I know some do like tuition reimbursement, some do stipends, some do tax returns after you're there for 3 years. So there's different things. Oh, you can also do live-ins too. That's pretty cool. If you want to move out or something, you can do live-ins at the station, so you're there 24/7. With volunteer, you have to get cleared in a certain amount of time. So like once you finish up your EMT class and you finish up your fire class and all that stuff like that, I think it's like 2 years tops, you have to go ahead and get clear so that you can actually ride and actually do this stuff for real, like with nobody babysitting you. You're out there on the field. So that is a plus with volunteers, that it's the exact same thing as public. You're riding right beside them, you're working right beside them, but they're in different shifts. So like volunteers, I don't want to say can't, but like they have different shifts. So I know like the station that I'm at, we have career people from 7 to 3, and then volunteers, I want to say after 3 p.m. And so that's pretty much how it works. Like I don't think they work together, but yeah. And so I want to say that these are just my tips on how to become an EMT firefighter. It all depends on where you live. And I do volunteer, but I'm not really active just because I am in school full-time, and school right now is my priority. But again, I already went through this 3 years ago, so I thought, why not share with you now? Like, just because I'm not really active now doesn't mean that I don't have information to share with you guys. So I just wanted to point this out and try to help you guys out, and I really hope you like this video. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and leave me comments in the comment section, or you can DM me on Instagram. I do respond to that as well. I will see you guys in my next video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed.